You've probably heard this claim before. If Puerto Rico becomes a state, Puerto Ricans will pay up to 60% of their income in taxes. It's a scary statement, but it leaves out how taxes actually work, who really pays federal income tax at current income levels, and who would control Puerto Rico's tax policy under statehood. Let's break it down. First, as U.S. territory, most residents of Puerto Rico are generally excluded from paying federal income tax if their income is generated on the island. However, Puerto Ricans still contribute to the U.S. Treasury via payroll taxes. Additionally, if a resident of Puerto Rico has sources of income from outside the island, they have to pay federal income tax on those. The result is Puerto Rico's contribution to the federal treasury is similar to those of other states, such as Alaska and Vermont. But since most residents do not pay federal income tax on Puerto Rico's sourced income, that's where opponents of statehood start imagining worst-case scenarios. Their argument goes like this. If Puerto Rico becomes a state, it would need to keep very high local taxes to pay its debts, and federal income tax would get added up on top of that. In their scenario, households would end up paying 60% or more of their income in taxes. But that number is based on flawed assumptions and fails to acknowledge the reality of what it means to be a state, with a state legislature that holds the power of the purse. Second, income levels matter. A large share of Puerto Rico's population currently lives below the federal poverty line, often cited at approximately 40%. That matters because federal income tax liability is not the same for every household. In the States, many low to moderate income households owe little or no federal income tax, and most qualify for credits and refunds that are not fully available in Puerto Rico right now. Furthermore, full parity in federal programs under statehood would offset additional federal tax burdens for most households in Puerto Rico and would increase the economic competitiveness of the island, generating more economic opportunities. So for most families, statehood would not automatically mean a giant new tax bill. Instead, it would provide equal treatment in federal resources essential to aiding the most vulnerable on the island and improve the overall economy so people can generate more income and businesses can grow. Third, under statehood, Puerto Rico's legislature could use their inherent power of the purse, which means that they could set and adjust local tax rates as they see fit without the external control of the unelected Financial Oversight and Management Board, which can only be imposed right now because the island remains a territory. As a state, Puerto Rico would set its tax policy just like every other state does. There's no rule that permanently forces a state to keep one specific local tax rate forever just to pay off its debt. As Puerto Rico's economy grows under statehood, the island can adapt its fiscal policy and reduce the local tax burden. So when you hear that Puerto Ricans would pay 60% of their income in taxes under statehood, remember, that claim ignores that we're already paying federal taxes. It disregards the reality of income and tax liabilities for individual households and assumes that Puerto Rico wouldn't control or change its local tax policy given the influx of federal funds and the economic growth that comes with statehood. So next time you hear this myth, join us in pushing back and set the record straight. Check the description below for more resources.